think the first thing about corruption is that it's festered where you have a monopoly and scarcity. Okay? I think that's anywhere in the world where there is a monopoly, one sole buyer of and scarcity. If you combine that, people will always want to get in front of the queue, and that is what you are talking about. That's corruption. The basic way you resolve that is what the steps now that we are taking to decongest that if you have 4 refineries working instead of 1 or importing all of it from abroad, you create these conditions for it. So the systemic dismantling of the obstacle to Nigerians we are a trading nation. We have people who trade, who buy and sell. Okay? So if there is any interference with that sort of process, somebody will get ahead of the queue. The solution to that is simple. Let markets be open and free. That is why, if you look at the PIA in Section 205, it says petroleum products in Nigeria, the prices of petroleum products shall be unrestricted. Opening up the space. Now, the second point is that if you create barriers to entry, in other words, if you put high license fees for someone to set up maybe a refinery or to set up a business, etc., you begin to now create a situation where access has a premium. All right? Okay. So the basic thing about the very big philosophy behind the PIA was simply to reduce these barriers to entry, make sure that we are not focused on the price of the product, but the state of the market. Because regulators are not supposed to over-regulate the market into non-existence. That is the importance of, you cannot regulate a market until it disappears. Okay? That is exactly what the fixed pricing regime, etc., led to. Refineries were not recovering their costs. And that was what Shell was telling our former president, that we don't want to touch this. Okay? Simply because, there is a scarcity, but you are trying to fix the price. So economically, you can resolve the issues of corruption when, so he has just argued is somebody who distributes petroleum, but I don't. But I have to listen to those who are actually in the business of moving it from point A to point B. Yes. Okay? And once you make that movement free, in other words, there are no obstacles to it. It's just mentioned, is it 3.5 million or something like that, and all the checkpoints and all kinds of things that are on the road. That is what creates the problem, right? Once that is removed by the abundance of supply, and you have competitive demand and competitive supply, then you have what is called a perfect market. Right now, we're in the process of building that with an imperfect market, which we're trying to straighten out. So that infrastructure needs to be right. The retailer would, of course, want to retail to make a profit. If not, you shut down the station. Yes. So you do not want to regulate the situation into the market either shrinking or becoming completely irrelevant. I think this is a classic economic history. At the end of the Second World War, there was shortage of potatoes in Germany. Yes. And any good MBA school would actually teach you that. That the very moment they removed the price caps, they used to issue coupons for people to get potatoes. And the moment the price went up, there was a rush into the market for people to sell potatoes that they were storing, right, to take advantage of the price increase. And then the price just collapsed.
Okay, you know, we talk about progress with the Port Harcourt refinery, and I'm sure it was with the NNPC when we had the oil boom of the 90s during the Iraq-Kuwait war. And a lot of experts said we lost out during the Ukraine war too because we were not exporting oil. Now with the refineries coming on board, back on board and being functional, how would that project Nigeria back to the global stage in the oil market?
Well, again, it's with early days yet. We're just talking about an old refinery that is now been reactivated, okay? And there are processes that it needs to go through. So I don't want to paint an exaggerated picture
Yes.
of it. There are steps to be taken, and that's what yes, that's right, I'm from there. Well, those who wish Nigeria well will observe this as a significant, the Dangote refinery is a significant Atlantic Basin event. Those who are in the world of refining, etc. That is a major, it's going to affect refineries even in Europe. Okay, so it's a major event. Now, if Nigeria succeeds in getting the remaining refineries functioning, etc., it represents a unique opportunity because apart from PMS, there are other products that refineries produce. So you need to look at the value chain carefully. But a lot of these would have to be exported because there's no domestic demand. However, you can begin the process of what we call import substitution, which is really why my thinking is why Dangote went into refining. You know, he's into cement. Again, it's an import substitution strategy. Okay? So once you begin that process, industrialization will take place because Nigerians are fixated on the fuel side of the refining business. That is the non-fuels side of this business, and that usually comes through petrochemicals, the chemicals industry, etc. So once that is firmly established, then you begin to see the benefits of this import substitution strategy, in which we now use resources to create opportunities for many, many, many products. You know, if you read about the opportunities, there are over 20,000 different products that can come from a barrel of crude oil.
Even in medicine?
Yes, there are just enormous amount of I sometimes teach a class in which we discuss all of those products.